This topic is diode laser cyclophotocoagulation by Dr. Nimida. Dr. Nimida is a consultant glaucoma specialist at Complex Eye Hospital, Calicut.
Good morning. Thank you, KSOS, for this opportunity. I'll be talking on diode laser cyclophotocoagulation. So, cyclodestruction mainly aims to reduce the aqueous humor production through coagulation or destruction of the ciliary body. So, there are various ways, that is the cyclodiathermy, cyclocryotherapy, cyclectomy. All these causes prolonged uveitis, damage to the corneal nerves, eye pain, and phthisis. Whereas laser cyclophotocoagulation mainly has a targeted approach to the ciliary body. So, laser cyclophotocoagulation, first it was done with ruby laser, followed by Nd:YAG, and then later diode. In the Nd:YAG laser, the wavelength used was 1064, and there are two types. There's the non-contact Nd:YAG and contact Nd:YAG. In the non-contact slit, it was done using slit lamp with or without a contact lens, and the laser is aimed at 1 to 1.5 millimeter posterior to the surgical limbus. Whereas in the contact Nd:YAG, it is using a sapphire probe, and the laser was aimed about 0.5 to 1 millimeter posterior to the surgical limbus. In both the superior and the inferior 270 to 360 degree quadrant was treated, avoiding 3 o'clock or 9 o'clock position. So here in Nd:YAG, it penetrates the sclera, but the melanin absorption was less in Nd:YAG. So as a result, it caused a lot of collateral damage. So then came the diode laser cyclophotocoagulation, where there is where it uses lesser energy, better absorption by the UVA melanin. There is quicker and greater durability, and it is portable with low maintenance cost. So there are two machines available in the market. That is the Iridex Cyclo G6 with the P3 probe here, and also the Supra 810 nanometer subliminal quantal laser. In the Iridex machine, basically the probe, you have to pool the patients for the usage, whereas the quantal probe, you can use it you can use it is a reusable probe. So the mechanism of action basically damages the pars pliccata, causing destruction of the ciliary epithelium. There is thrombosis of the ciliary vessels. It decreases the vascular perfusion. There is ischemia and atrophy of the ciliary process. And also there's inflammation of the ciliary process, which decreases the aqueous production. So there are various indications available. So basically, it's used as an end stage procedure in all refractory glaucomas with painful blind eyes. And the next, coming to the G probe. So the G probe, it allows targeted cyclophotocoagulation of the ciliary body, and the tip is about 1.2 millimeter from the corneal limbus, and there is a protrusion here that is about 0.7 millimeter beyond the contact. That this indents the conjunctiva and sclera to enhance the transmission, and the foot plate is curved spherically to match the scleral surface. So the G probe is designed to ensure that the energy is delivered more posteriorly than the fiber optic protrusion. So in certain cases like congenital glaucoma, in high myopia, and like previous surgery, there's distortion to the limbal anatomy. In such cases, you have to you should mark the ciliary body. So you can either use the microscope retroillumination, or you can you can use a torchlight and shine 4 millimeter away from the corneoscleral limbus, and you can see a darkened area. So this gives the position of the ciliary body, and here you can place the probe. So there are two settings where we can do the procedure. One is the standard setting. The spot size is about 16 to 24. The power is 1250 to 2500 milliwatt, and the duration is 2000 milliseconds. And then there is the slow coagulation technique where the duration is about 3000 to 4000 milliseconds and power is 1250 to 1500, and energy is titrated just below the level of an audible pop. And it is positioned 1 to 2 millimeter posterior to the limbus and is angled parallel to the visual axis, basically avoiding the 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock position. This is a G-probe illuminate where there is an inbuilt transillumination which offers the transillumination for the ciliary body. So before the procedure, we have to take a detailed consent, which Roshna has already explained. So we have to explain that there can be a post-operative pain, and also about the visual prognosis also you should tell, and also there can be retreatment and the risk and benefits of the procedure to the patient. So under peribulbar block, retrobulbar or general anesthesia, you apply lidocaine jelly and treat the superior and the inferior quadrant, basically avoiding the 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock position. So the practical considerations is the cost of the probe, that is the Iridix machine probe. It costs about 27,000, and in pigmented eyes, use low power settings for a longer duration, and avoid areas of increased conjunctival pigmentation and scleral thinning. The energy should be used as minimum as possible to avoid surface burns. And when you're reusing the probe, always clean with alcohol wipes. The post-operative management is that eye should be bandaged about 6 to 8 hours. You have to prescribe oral analgesics and inflammatory medications, oral acetazolamide to basically reduce the post-operative IOP spikes. You have to continue anti-glaucoma medication and prescribe the topical steroids for 1 month. You can continue it for 2 to 3 months also. Use of topical cycloplegics to reduce the post-operative pain. The complications are basically pain. They can be initially high IOP, that is seen in 10%. They can be hypotony, phthisis bulbi. They can be decreased vision in 20 to 30% of patients. There can be inflammation, hyphema, conjunctival and scleral burns, corneal decompensation, cataract, scleral thinning, staphyloma, malignant glaucoma, and sympathetic ophthalmia. So this is a case of, this is an article of scleral perforation following transscleral diode laser. It was due to the faulty laser probe. There was a debris at the probe, and also scleral thinning can contribute to this, and also localized pigmentation and scarring. So the basic is that the cost, it is a little bit towards the costlier side, but it's a well tolerated procedure with maximum IOP lowering effect, and complications like pain, decreased vision and phthisis has been reported. Thank you.